won 2 and 2 my sophomore year, and then the third one was kind of validation, validation that I am that caliber, that quality of wrestler. So just in that sense, it's just they're just all very different.
We move on to Brody Conley and Joseph Manfredi here at 174 pounds, and Conley, guys, he goes to work immediately, and Manfredi trying to counter.
Yeah, he's scrambling here.
There's the potentially dangerous.
So that part of this sport has changed a lot in the scrambling and doing it since back when you were competing. And I know a lot of that is in relation to some of the stuff that you do in training now, right? With training people with MMA and that sort of stuff, right? So talk a little bit about the transition that you made into doing what you're doing now.
Yeah, you know, I train professional MMA fighters, and really the practice that I execute really wouldn't be much different if I jumped in the college wrestling room and ran a practice right now. Obviously, some things are going to vary a little bit, but ultimately wrestling is wrestling, and you know, the scrambling that we see out here is, you know, has been increasing for years and years and years now, and it's just neat seeing guys develop their own unique skill out of it.
Well, get us caught up as to where you are. You've moved to Florida, correctly?
Yes, I live in Boca Raton, Florida.
Okay, and what you do, you mentioned a little bit about training other professional athletes.
Yep. So like I said, I train professional MMA athletes. I've just started recently doing more wrestling. I'm going to do some youth and high school wrestling, just kind of get back to my roots a little bit. That's good for me mentally. But you know, the professional fight guys keep me pretty busy.
Yeah,
you know,
I can imagine. What was it like being out there, hearing all the kind words and the testimonials from your former coach Craig Turnbull and family members and other people that have been part of this wrestling community?
Yeah, it was really cool. And you know, like the older you get, like the further away that kind of stuff is. You know, I really never desired or needed a spotlight, but I'd be lying if I said it doesn't feel good to come back in front of the Mountaineer faithful. Thanks for Coach Flynn for putting this thing together, and it's been really cool.
And a big alumni gathering too. That was really special.
Yeah, yes, it was really cool.
And talk about Zeke Jones, what he meant to helping you through your development. He was an assistant when you were here. No,
Zeke was probably one of the top 1 or 2 reasons I was able to have the success that I had, especially from a technical standpoint. And I was joking with Coach Flynn, is like, it's almost like you guys planned this to do it so Zeke could be here. But that was kind of like icing on a cake whenever I saw that.
Scoreless here at 174 between Conley and Manfredi. Tony, get us caught up with what we've seen so far in the first period.
Well, Conley's had couple of nice shots. He hasn't finished any of them. You know, you do like 95% of it and let a guy out at the last second. You know, a lot of it's just about staying in good position. He's got a little slightly out a couple of different times, and it cost him, well, 3 points at least once or twice. So, I mean, he's been pretty good and pretty aggressive. He's been dominating in terms of the pace and the positioning, but he hasn't been able to score yet.
End of the first period, we're scoreless, and Manfredi of Arizona State will start on the bottom position. Greg, how difficult is it to kind of step away from the competition? A guy like you that was so deeply involved in it. Has that been a difficult transition, or does the body have enough at some point?
No, for me, competing personally, like executing the sport, I don't really miss that part. But as far as a competition standpoint, I compete now more than I ever have. I just compete in a different way. It's just not me getting my knee twisted or me getting punched in the face. But there's still certainly a high level of competitiveness.
Tony, we've got an interesting scramble going on here.
Yeah, well, you know, Conley again made it a little interesting there. He got himself in that position. Yeah, that's a nice half. Stay out toward the elbow a little bit. But he's sort of giving that space up a little. Let's try to slide. The hard part here is you've got the leg on the opposite side of the half, so you're sort of twisting him in 2 directions at the same time. And people don't turn like that very well. So sort of got to let the bottom side out so you get him a chance to turn. But my goodness, You were talking about not wanting to get punched in the face and your knee twisted. I watch these guys wrestle. My shoulders and knees, I feel like I need to have surgery a couple times after I get done.
Oh, I know.
How much has it changed?
I don't think it's changed that much. Obviously, sports go through changes and eras and things like that. As I said before, wrestling is still wrestling. But you know, there obviously is a few different things that we see that's more common. A little bit of the scrambling stuff that I talked about, and I love the stalling rule. The 5-second stalling rule, I think, is a great addition. Yeah.
Manfredi got a stall warning here.
Well, I got to say, I think one of the things that's changed a bit is pace and intensity. A lot of times people, in terms of just overall up and down the country, where there are a lot of people would stand out, kind of stand in front of somebody for a long time. These days, that hardly happens at all, right? There's a lot of movement side to side. Even on the top, a lot more pressure. A lot of people are better in those positions.
Well, I think what you're seeing, too, is a lot of these guys are coming to college so much better equipped than they were previously. These young kids, I mean, coming as a freshman are really good and really skilled.
Optional start here and a point for Conley. So Conley with the 1-0 lead as we are into the third period. Okay, so you come to WVU from Slickville, Pennsylvania. Your brother had been a great wrestler here. So in terms of that decision, I guess it made it easier because of what your brother had done and accomplished before you got here.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer. Like, I got calls and contacted by other coaches, and, you know, I was that kid that said, yeah, I'm my own person. I'm going to keep my options open. But to be honest, I don't know how true that was. I didn't make time to visit any other schools.
Ooh, that's a knee problem right there, man. He was. So the same thing happened. He's in on that single leg. He does a nice job till right to the end. He sort of gets kicked through, and then he's holding his foot, trying to not give up the takedown, and so he tries to turn into him, and he does not. Your body doesn't turn very well that way. So he's got this foot here, and he tries to turn in this way, and right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
React.
Right. That's not good. That's not a good sign.
Angle from the front side here.
His foot's trapped, right, and he's trying to drive through it, and then that's
the left knee situation. Conley up on his feet. And we'll see if he can continue.
Yeah, it's unfortunate in this close. This is going to be a close match down the stretch here.
Right, especially if you're going to give up. It's going to be tough to wrestle like that. I mean, he's still got another period and a half to go, right?
Well, he's going to
try to tape it up.
Try to see if he can get up and move around with it and use all of his injury time here. As we're visiting with Greg Jones, 3-time national champ. And Greg, you were telling the story of how you ended up here.
Yeah. Like I said, I told myself I was going to keep my options open. I never carved out a weekend to go visit any other schools. Zeke Jones that's here today and Coach Craig Turnbull just drove up, I don't know, on an afternoon, and I committed there on the spot. So it was good enough for my brother. It was good enough for me. And he obviously, like you said, competed at a very good level.
Yeah. Brody Conley with a gutsy performance here. Back up on his feet, trying to get through the final minute. Conley with the 1-0 lead, trying to hold off Joseph Manfredi.
Well, he's got a 1-0 lead, and to his credit now, he's also has 1:57 of riding time, so he's in pretty decent shape from that side of it. And the fact that he actually took a shot and went after him right there on the front end of it was pretty impressive. The question is how well he can push off.
Yeah.
Final 30 seconds here.
Circle good.
Trying to hang on and keeping that left foot in bounds. Now they go out of bounds. A restart with 20 seconds left.
I think we see a lot with knees too, Tony, is it's not so much the standing, but it's down on the mat whenever your toe gets pointed in or out. When you see that knee kind of hurt a little bit, but we'll see here.
Connolly's with a 2-0 lead with the ride time, trying to hold on here for the final few seconds.
Well, he definitely is trying to hold on, right? Stay on his feet a little bit.
And there's the buzzer. What a gritty effort by Brody Conley as he hobbles to the logo to get that arm raised. A handshake between Conley and Manfredi. And Brody Conley victorious here.
Let me tell you, man, that's tough right there. That's some tough stuff right there, man.
He got it out. Now, credit for him for sticking it in there with his team, for his team, too.
So you get the adrenaline flowing to get through the match. Now you deal with the aftermath, right?
Now, fortunately, as Coach talked about in their scheduling, they got 2 weeks before they have to go out to the Big 12. So he's got some time to heal, some treatment, do all that stuff in terms of getting himself ready to go. So
it can be some pretty valuable time, for sure.
No doubt about that.
17-7, that's the West Virginia lead now, as Conley hangs on to defeat Joseph Manfredi. And let's go over to Jarrett.
Brody Conley, tough as nails. Another win where you sacrificed just about everything. How does it feel to put your body on the line for the Mountaineers?
I don't know. I know it's a close duel. We want to hear country roads, so I got to do what I got to do for that to happen. Everybody's got to take their part, and that was my part.
You were stuck in that second period crab ride for a while, able to get out of some tough positions, trying to get a guy to open up a little bit, give you something. How do you try and get wrestlers to wrestle where you want to be?
I should have done a better job letting the guy up right there. When he was flat on his belly to get an opportunity to throw a leg in or give a different look. So, yeah, just the process, measuring what I can do and what I can do better.
Absolutely. Brody Conley, congratulations on another win. Kyle, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Jared, with Brody